How did you get thrown out of the MTV Awards? Just tell me.
I stage dived.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, you did it?
Yeah.
You said you were going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So listen to this. Ralph, wait a second. Check this out. I told this story yesterday, but let me tell it again for those of you who missed it. Ralph, who does my makeup and whatever, cuts my nasal hair.
All right, flare your nostrils.
The dude who cuts my nasal hair. Oh, we should show that on camera one time.
Absolutely. When is he doing that?
When are you going to do it again? When am I due for a nasal hair?
I just did it yesterday, so probably.
You didn't do it yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh, you did it. That's right. And I had snot in my nose.
Yeah.
He started cutting and the snot started dripping out.
Doesn't he use one of those electric things?
No. He uses a scissor.
Oh.
And what happens is he starts to cut it, and then I go, "Thank you, gay boy." and then he starts laughing, and then his hand is shaking, and his fingers always smell.
To get up your nose?
Yeah, and he's starting to cut my nose, and it's like, I'm getting nervous. Then we finally all stop laughing because it's getting ridiculous already. And then we realize that his job is cutting my disgusting nasal hairs.
But wait, no, flare your nostrils like you do.
Well, why don't we save it for when I do it?
Okay. You have to open your. You have a special.
All right, you want to see my pose when I get my nasal hairs cut? And I do that.
Oh, you're too funny.
Yeah. How am I so germ-phobic, and yet I let this mess of a human being in my nose?
He is a mess.
I know.
Oh, man.
He has something.
Does he clean those scissors?
No.
You don't watch.
He probably cuts his feet and toenails and calluses
He's
with it.
using them for everything.
Right.
Oh.
So is that how you dress for the MTV Awards?
Yeah, pretty much. So.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I lost my vest, though.
What'd you do? You took it off and threw it?
No, I lost it. I don't know. It just...
Were you so high you lost your vest?
When I dived and the guys ripped me out of there. And
they ripped off your clothes?
Yeah. All right, so listen to this. Listen to this.
Need a trim?
Need a trim. All right, so listen to this.
Call.
Ralph calls me and goes, "Hey, man, can you get me into the MTV Awards?" I said, "Look, dude, I'm not going to sit there and use up a favor with MTV for you." I mean, I'm very honest with
No,
her.
you didn't.
I said
now,
basically...
Why are you saying that? You didn't
I did. I did.
I said, "Can Gary check into it for me?" And you said, "Yeah." Unless you.
I said, "Oh, Gary can check into it. I'm not going to use up a favor, though." I said, "You want Gary to see if there's available tickets? Fine.
Yeah, Gary.
But I certainly am not going to make a personal phone call for you. I don't really think you deserve it. I mean, seriously.
If I really.
All right. Anyway, so listen, please don't interrupt every minute. So he tells me next day that MTV heard when we were at the Stone Temple Pilots concert. They walk around MTV with like leaflets saying, "Hey, if you want to audition to be in the audience." They want an audience that somehow dances around as young and commotion. So they go to the Stone Temple Pilots concert. Meanwhile, they go through all this trouble of getting an audience, and then they never mic it. They don't put a proper microphone in there. You can't hear the audience.
Yeah.
And they never show them.
Well, they did show them a couple of times, but they were in a weird section.
Yeah, well, all you see is their hands.
Yeah.
And what it is I've been part of the MTV Awards. They're in a low pit.
Right.
And you can't see them.
That's exactly what it was.
So you just see a sea of hands. So that you don't even get to see what clothes they're wearing. I would like to see, like, the fans, you know.
I couldn't tell what was going on in there.
That was the cool thing about the pay-per-view Woodstock coverage. You got to see what people were doing at Woodstock. Mm-hmm. But they don't get that. They don't. You see, the guys who produce these shows.
Those front seats. They won't give them up.
The guys who produce these shows they're not television watchers. I'm convinced of that. So I was telling the story of Ralph.
Right.
Okay.
Who did he jump off the stage?
So Ralph goes to an audition at MTV to be in the audience. They need kids who dress good and, who jump up and down and stuff.
The operative word being kid.
Idiots. Yeah, idiots. So Ralph goes into this room and auditions in front of this lady. And the lady says, "Okay, I want to play some music. Let me see you dance." And Ralph goes, "Hey, I'm not going to dance. If I was in a group of people, I would dance." So then, I don't know, Ralph convinced her to dance with him.
He should have known then he was going to be trouble.
Yeah. Well, somehow Ralph got to be in that crowd of people that you never see anyway on the MTV Awards.
But it was great seeing.
So what did you do? You jumped up on stage?
Well, at some point they came over and they said, you got... Everybody around me was just standing there. They weren't really getting into it. All these girls just standing really stiff, not having any fun. So they came over and said, "You guys got to jump around more. You got to get nuts. You got to get moving."
Right.
So I did.
And then they threw you out?
Yeah.
What did you do?
That's what they wanted.
I stage dive on Green Day. I ran up and jumped.
You ran on stage
and jumped and dived off.
And they threw you out?
They threw me out. The guy grabbed me, dragged me.
But that's what they asked for.
Threw me out, yeah. Because I said to the guy, I said, "What?" I said, say something like that. People start stage diving. He goes, "Whatever." He goes, "You guys just get nuts."
You know what they did? They set you up. They tell you they want you to be wild.
Right.
And then you do something like stage diving, which everyone does.
And they drags me out.
And you went stage diving? And this is where you go head first into the crowd.
Into a crowd.
But
He's lucky he's got a hard head.
My friend Theo was
No,
over there.
that's why he does what he does.
Look at Jackie. Even Jackie's annoyed by you. Jackie, you've done some dumb things, but you never dived into a crowd.
Ralph is way beyond.
Right.
They catch you. I mean, you don't get hurt.
Ralph, if you came at me, I would not catch you.
But they did. That's what they wanted. They wanted wild kids who would do wild stuff.
Right, that's what they do at the concerts.
And then they make, and then
In
like
fact,
at a concert,
Ralph kept saying yesterday when you were telling this story, they want a mosh pit. They want a mosh pit.
right.
They called it the party in the pit. And so what's that? A bunch of girls standing there going.